Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet a new episode of the Sit Down with Juliana. It's so good to have you. Thank you for watching. And you know this platform is for literally people who stand out, people who do amazing things in the world of arts and anywhere else.
Woman, a warrior is a woman. Woman, woman, a savior is a woman. Woman, woman.
And today I'm honored to have someone that I've known for a while. Only got to be friends with him just recently. Somehow we get to see each other from a distance. He's an amazing, amazing musician. He's a singer, songwriter, storyteller who makes it very, very clear when he's doing his music that he's celebrating everything that is Ugandan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kenneth Mugabe. Kuzeko fireworks. You deserve them.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much.
Hi.
Hi, Juliana.
It's good to see you.
You too, my dear.
Webale kujjako wano kasho kaffe.
Webale kunchazaako.
I did this a couple of years back.
I remember.
At that time, I dedicated it to the women. Manyinze and the feminist. The real feminist.
The
not
original
the one who comes
feminist
when
or
it's
the new
convenient.
feminist?
The one who's there all the time. So, of course, my first automatic, direction was to first celebrate women. But in this season, I'd like to hear from you guys what it's like to be in this industry, what it's like to do what you do as a man, your achievements. Sometimes we take long to celebrate our people. Tulaobawa, they are flowers, and yet they're really deserving. And I feel you're one of those people.
Always tambula naye lumotoka ne gita yayo bibera mumotoka all the time. Surprisingly, I would say Ndingidi chose me in all traditional instruments. The tube fiddle chose me because from right from primary school, I enjoyed it, but I never played it. Okay. From a distance. I was recruited in school quite 3 times. Still, I had to run away because wale chiboko nyingi. So when I reached campus, it's the instrument tinatuna nengama yes. The lecturer yajaji tuyigiriza bali bamita I remember his name is called Mr. Chijogwa.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Chijogwa. And now, for you, when you are learning this, you have to do this and this. And when you do this and this, and but you, when I teach you, you don't pay attention. Why don't you pay attention? So, but for the Ndingidi, I learned by ear.
By ear?
Yeah, by ear. Whenever, like, Chunachi now, as long as Kasoigon okutuning and I'm in tune, the rest I have to first hear and then play.
Yeah.
I don't just play, I just hear then play. For that's how I say Ndingidi chose me.
Now when I see you playing that thing, it's like you've played it all your life.
Not really. I feel like I am sailing. It's an instrument that one cannot explain. I cannot explain how that one string can have that impact. Only 5 notes. They can have that much impact. And now, with the first time I tried it in a song, I remember that song was my first song, Nobuka. But I don't know how. I don't know where that sound came from. I'm like, but Kangazeke Ndingidi. And I put it in. The song totally changed. Akari kaino kubera pop. Kachuka. Nekava mkubera pop. Nekafuka Afro soul, Afro fusion. But me, right now, I call my music the Ugandan soul.
I love that.
Yeah.
While you're performing conversations.
Yes.
Waliwo wakubira endingidi eyo. N'ogitwala to the end, and the only way I can describe it, like you made it speak in tongues.
Oh yeah.
I was looking at people's reaction. It's amazing how it was speaking to people without words.
Oh yeah.
Oba lwalirimba chinera idurimba.
Kwegomba nalukuwa mukakwa mukwegomba nachi.
I think it must be one of those kubanga watuka ku end abalala bonna ne bavaamu.
That's Nkwegomba.
And you said communicating with the band, just you and
It's actually its purpose, its original purpose is to imitate the human voice.
exactly because it was speaking. That's what I'm saying. It was speaking.
It imitates the human voice where the words cannot reach. Then dingy take out. So in an ensemble, it does imitate. Well,
yeah. Tell me, today at the beginning,
yes.
You said there's an interview I was watching and you mentioned that mami yakutwala mu boarding school mu P2.
Oh yeah.
Wali muto.
Very young. I think I was 6 years. Yeah, I was 6 years.
It didn't scare you? Do you even remember?
Yeah. Oh, I remember. Like I remember that very day. I remember like it was yesterday. I remember.
And how
I remember.
How did that make you feel, staying at school and you actually watch your mom walk out of the school gate? Now you have no friends. That you're just about to make friends.
Imagine
you're in a new environment.
Just imagine you're the last born.
Oh,
I nekaba nasoka nenkaba over that first week. Ninga ndaba ngino kulaba amazige jenkaba amazige tekajavayo ne mama tachako. Ninga kambireke like it's just switch of na kambireke.
Yeah.
So I think from that day there's now to think about it, I think from that day there's something that in me that switched. Like ngaunagamba nti chintu chichandya this I can no longer, you know, like ngaunagamba nti against totally possible.
Would you say that it has affected or changed or played a big role in the man you've become today? The independence,
the way I relate with people.
Okay.
Yeah, it affected me in the way, like for example, bobera n'omuntu nesokuba n'omuntu for a long time and I open up myself but when they decide to go over, when that relationship is not going anywhere, I don't force it. You get I let it be. Well, if it's supposed to be, it will be. If it is not, no, I don't. And I live without any guilt. No. I cherish, I remain with memories, because I make sure I make memories. At the same time, I am very optimistic about what is up there, what is in front of the echiri wano kasanda banga chimpa chimdetera anxiety ngandaba I'm not supposed to lose sleep over this, but I'm losing sleep. No, yechicho.
You sound to me like a person who's, first of all, not afraid to be alone.
No, I am a lone wolf, I would say.
You also sound like you're a very positive person. You tend to look at the positives more than the negatives.
Most of
which
the
is
time,
a good thing.
Yeah, it is good. Most of the times I'm I would say when I didn't there's Kakunde I came up with a saying that good was bad and bad was good, meaning there's something good about bad. Yeah.
And I think for me that has helped me make it through very many challenges.
Yeah.
When something bad happens, I look at it critically and I ask myself, what can I get out of this? Chibi.
Yes, I also do that.
Now, for starters, is there a lesson?
I look, worst case, what is the worst case scenario? Oh, that is the worst case. Okay, then I can leave. Yeah. If the worst case scenario is very, very, very bad, I'm like, how do we manage it?
Exactly.
Yes, I don't like to, no. Yeah. I like managing my things. Wendabanga chigenda kuwanvua. Managing there and then. Wendabanga I'm like, okay, let us see how far it can go. Sometimes I'm like, let us see how far it can go.
Yeah.
Because sometimes oyinza kutawaanya ekintu ate nga oyimukyongera amazzi to grow. Instead, ngwandikire just to fade away, like,
Yeah.
let it fade away.
Yeah. Let it be.
Yeah, let it be.
Let it be. Be still. You know?
Yes, be still.
What was growing up like for you?
I was a happy
Parents?
child.
Were you from like a big family? Grew up with both mom and dad? What was your childhood like?
I would say I grew up in boarding school, definitely, because they were kind of in Malawi like 2 weeks, in boarding school. The most is like a month. That is between. That was ngamomulamu December ngatandika. Oh, and yeah, mostly December ngatandika. That's that time. Them having that couple months and the first week of January.
Yeah.
So the most since primary 2 and senior 6, the most time I was home was like a month.
Wow.
Then go back to school. Then go back to school, like a month, go back to school. So I would say I was a happy child because once I settled in boarding school, I was very happy. And that boarding school engaged nti don't be attached to people. Because time when a best friend mulala. Eddako ina best friend mulala. Eddako ina best friend mulala.
Change school all the time.
Yeah, even though you don't change school. But for some reason, like let's say from primary, like let's say from primary 2 over senior 1 to senior 2, you're changing dormitories.
Yeah.
Luli yali akusula kuwumbi kati mulala yakusula okuwumbi. Luli yali asula wansi ku deeka kati mulala yasula.
Sometimes in the streams zimanyo chuka.
Exactly. So things change and that transition all the time for like at least 12 years.
Yeah.
Were they 6 years? 12 years. 12 years of constant rotation. Like your mind registers naga. But I was a very happy person. I played nazanya.
Hey, chirunji.
Mama bana watazanya. I never know I don't know why. But nazanya, I don't know which game I never played. From Dulu, Jalo, Wamuri Murideko, Nusu, Simanya Chokoro.
Ate
ebipira sabigira nnyo.
Ate football omupiira ogwa kaba brother bange bazinga ngomupiira ogwo nga bakoze mu kikundi ky'omukyama.
Okwala ki pint ekyo nokipekamu omukka nokisiba then okwata pints ebirala. Nogera ngo
kikolanga bati naye nga sebo gubouncing.
Yes, one chip pint nokipikamu omukka. Bw'omala okipikamu omukka onokipikiramu ddala kifuukira ddala like round because it could stretch. Why? Kaveera ka stretching. Then ogatako ebirala. Gy'okumugatako ng'onyega. Kati not yet. Bw'oba okyagira teekako by'otaddeko ng'obyokya nga bikwata.
That's how it becomes round.
Yes. Ng'obyokya ng'ogatako ebirala ng'obyokya ng'ogatako ebirala ng'obyokya. And you would play the ball and it was Africans.
You see that African kids were very creative.
Very creative.
Twamanya ennaku yaffe wakati fe abawala twakolanga ddole. Nenga ddole
mu byayi.
Ate nekavanga kaddole kalungi nokatungira n'engoye nze natunga engoye. Yes, nga ntunga n'obugoye bwa ddole wange ne mwambaza. Amazing, right?
Like
yeah.
Things have changed so much that we scroll so much than use our hands to build.
I know.
So
bana benaku zino babeera ku tabs.
Munange kati ala munali alikuwa ina tabs kati oyagala akola ati.
I know. Byalina byebiriwo. How about family, siblings?
Growing up I grew up with my mother.
Okay.
My mother yatuzaala babiri, me and my elder sister. She's 8 years like that gap 8 years. However, bwe twakulira nakula ne ba cousins.
Okay.
And my ebukojja, my mother's side, Bambejja. Oh yeah, so it makes me a Sava.
Okay.
So Bambejja, like, and then that lineage, because the late Alice Zalwango Nalinya was my auntie. Yes, so when nakula nabo, and the kids are my cousins. So yeah, who they happen to call the king Kavaka uncle. Like most of Babylon, okay, now Uncle Ronnie. I'm like, who's Uncle Ronnie? Like, oh, that's Uncle.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Kavaka's Uncle Ronnie? You mean Kavaka's Uncle Ronnie? I'm like, he's so casual about it. So casual about it. But I'm like, wow. But Jena Kuria went to, but on my father's circle and my father's side.
Okay.
But I later got to meet them. Like I think I was around 24. But I first met my brother when I was in my primary 7 vacation.
Okay. And
then I met him again when he was graduating, and I was my senior 4 vacation. So to real meet them, Bonabona Wamu.
Yeah.
Even my jaja the first time, even my koja, my uncles the first time, even my like jaja mchala the first time I was 24. I think that was 2016. Yeah, I was like 24. And then my jaja was like was asking my mzee, ono yani bamwita Mugabe Sirinya. Mugabe Sirinya. Like my judge was called Idwege. Edifaz Idwege. My father was Taire Idwege. My brother is Gwambuga. So my father gave me Mugabe from Katonda Mugabe. Yes. And watu keri nabuuza oyani ye Mugabe. Mugabe Sirinya. So ngenda kuita Musika. So my judge called me Musika.
Yeah.
Like Musika Air, basically.
Yes.
Air. Because the name of family by Sechisige.
Yeah.
So then I get to meet my like twabondingira nga badde bemanyi.
But ngenda kubuuza because kati let me give you a brief of my growing up in terms of family. So my dad came from a very big family, like huge, abana banji. So meaning that even the kids they had nabo bali banji. Kati a lot of them bakulira out of the country, like my dad's brothers and sisters abambava wane bagenda those days. Kati mukukula wano abamumba meetinga tukula.
Yes.
You know, like once in a while some cousins come into the country and they're like, oh, abana bagundi bazze, please come and meet them. It would be nice to get to know each other. Even uncles and aunties, some of them, ngoba meetinga mumaze nokula nogera nombuza naga kozo ono yani. And it sounded weird to me because come on, this is my dad's sister. And she's like ono yani. For me it always felt like it took away a lot of chances to connect as a family.
True.
And growing up, my observation has been that tetuli that close with some of my cousins, not all of them, but some of them, and Sinti Musango. But like you sit at a family function and you can't connect, there's nothing to talk about because you have no history compared to the ones you've grown up with that you literally just olumutu sanga boti mutandikirawo olugambo nachi. Didn't you get that with your some of your family they were meeting later?
I always get it. I'm so much connected ebokojja because nakulira.
Yeah.
Benasinga ngokutawanya. Kati ewa my father's side, it's more of genda mpola. Tulinya, like it's basically walking on eggshells. Yes, and I try not to. And I also play a card of well, you're in limelight and they see you, so most of them approach you from that angle.
Yeah.
Kakate we were approaching from that angle. For some reason, I think nchiraba mango ningamba mona zidemo no angle, and I find a way to contain and but if I'm not that connected to someone, okay, I'm connected, but I'm like, okay, kati now ngena mubuza ko then tudde mu kiwo pakati wimtaka ko biroza ndaye mboze gena koyo nganga maha
ngono onoonya ensonga ng'osiibula. Are you a loner, or are you the kind that loves to visit and be visited?
I rather visit than be visited. I don't know why, but I take where I live as a sanctuary.
Okay.
Yes, like this is my space. This is like, unaweza nokwewonya, unaweza kuja wembera, and it's very quiet, just quiet.
Yeah.
Why I live so much in my head. I observe what is going on.
Yeah.
And then I think about it, and then I'm like, what can we do with this? How can we masao chicholoza chisoka kuteekawo if we have this, if we had this. And ekibi ennyo wano the unfortunate thing is nzize nkulidde mu industry nga byenneegomba ate kati bikyaliwo bye nali neegomba. For example, the collaborations you guys used to do, and I'm like,
Yeah.
And right now kusika muguwa, nosika omuguwa. I am so fortunate that people like Lillian Babazi, like, okay, I'm going to be them, like, oh, just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
And also nengeje bali bangamba nti mwana bwingira no industry kyozino kusoko kola sikuwewula dobozi sikulachi wabula soko kole nako
ani yakuwa magezi awo
bana soko kole nako kubanga eri abana bakube ngumi.
Imagine
oh
that.
Yeah, there's a time
tugamba kuwayingira manyo ingide violence mwe
chetwa tulaba like mwana meba mukube wali no mleba ngamba ha eno yendo sinaje so
no olaba ekintu kya collaborations ekyo kyoyogeddeko nange I miss it because I got to experience the authentic collaborations that we guys did. It was really it was so simple. It had nothing to do with mfunira muwa.
Yes,
it was more of I love his art.
Yes,
I love his skill.
Yes.
I love what he does, and I think me and him can sound good together. I've been a huge fan. Can we jump into studio?
Oh, yeah.
Nemukola echintu based on love and respect for each
and
other.
that vibe ediwo.
And that vibe.
Don't kati achoka kube manager wange kati gundi atera. I'm like
I think it's the reason why, partly, I think sichakola new collaborations. Because generation eno, it's very business oriented. But you take on your business, which is fine. It's good to be a business person.
Yes.
But I think artistically it needs to make sense. You need to bond. You need to want to do this thing. It's almost like a love affair.
I call it
Yeah.
Generation eno like these two palms.
Yeah.
This is art, now this is business. What the generation on Chile senti ekutte art nemuteka mu business instead of getting the business and emuteke mu art. Business should be a component of art because even business is an art.
Yes.
Instead of getting art ate nomuteka mu business, can now be art atandika serving a business instead of business serving art. And now there's a challenge like basically generally
business nalagira art
yet art kulagira business kubanga you don't know what a hit is going to be. You don't know what people are going to like. You don't know what people need. You don't know what you go collab because it's something you're vibing and then wow sinade simanyi katwali abwezi netuyiye ekintu kyaffe nekijebuzi and then people love it.
Exactly.
Now instead of now we need to meet, let us do a collaboration. Okay, but how are we going to move this? End of the day, how is that going to be a success and yet if it is business ngomutadde mu art mwana akemba katambula tukoze tutya katumanyi tukole ekivulu kubanga mana akemba katususeeko tukole bwe tutikatususeeko mwomo kyali awo bakwetaga London bakwetaga America man kati ngena kola ntya. Now that's when the business comes in
after the art has
give the art chance. We don't give art chance to grow because for me the way I take art is it gives me life. Something that gives you life, you need to give it. You need to serve it.
You need to water it.
Exactly. If you don't serve it, it will not serve you. And time again akutukanga balaba Juliana nga akyaliwo n'ate olinga taliiwo kiki ekya muna Juliana did just make sure she serves her art bulungi naye akwatikako oyo nange tukoze tutya naye omanyi yitaku nini mwetaaga naye kumanyi genda oyigire n'oli kubanga oyigira n'oli olajja kuyambako omutuukako kati nkoze ntya all that is because of art.
It's because you let your art speak for you.
You like nga never to ina any hit eri ku radio, but someone is going to look for naga njagala oli. For example, recently there's a project that came in Uganda. I didn't know about it, but they looked for me. I'm like, twagala Mugabe, bwiba kye mwagala twagala wamanyeza people of the land and nach wamanyeza people of the land and nach. Interesting. The obvious ones I thought Nkwegoma maybe, but Twagala specifically, but never Bwagala. And then I met the people who I'm like, oh my goodness, guy, they were Americans, but they were like Omanyinga groupies.
Oh my god,
you guys, oh my god, the way you do this, oh my god, I love it. Oh, by the way, this other song, they don't understand the words, but they love the music. And I'm like, where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong? I'm like,
someone called me like sometime in must have been end of Feb.
Yes.
And she calls me. She's like, I need to tell you something. She lives in the States. Actually, she lives in Chicago. Nangamba, I have to tell you something, but I need to call you. What is their problem? Nangamba, there's this lady I met. It was random. We were in some high-profile meeting, and this woman is one of the most top ranking in that business. She's American. She's white. Basically, like no connection to Uganda, right? So as they were introducing themselves, my friend Namugamanti, she's from Uganda. Omukazi nava Mumbeya. Oh my God, do you know Juliana? So my friend is like, do you know Juliana Kanyomozi? Oh my God, I love that woman. Look, ngesimu ye ejude Juliana nangamba nebifana byange byali ku screenshot ku gundi ku screensaver.
Yes.
And apparently one of her favorite songs is Woman. Nagamba, I follow this woman, everything she does.
Wow.
I mean, it was one person, right?
Yes.
But it was the distance, the difference in geography and all that. When my friend told me this story, it really took me back to remembering why I do this, why we do this.
Yes.
Until we don't realize the power of what we create.
Actually, me, what I would say about that is when you do art selflessly.
Thank you.
You never know where
How
it
far
goes.
it will go.
Yeah.
When you just do it freely and willingly.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first person it serves is you.
Yeah.
Because you're the first listener.
Yeah.
You hear it. When like the beat is like you first now can't say okay, now you can release it. You don't know where it is going. For example, I was having a chat with Shaka Mayanja. And Shaka's like, you do not know how Maddox's songs are doing in the Caribbean.
Imagine. He said this recently, right?
Yeah, like a year ago.
Still, that's recent because we're comparing to how long ago this music was released.
Yes. But he has 2 albums on the market. Exactly. Only 2. Like 2.
Yeah.
In again,
I
need that confidence.
For bookings.
I need that confidence. But his music is doing well in the Caribbean.
Imagine that.
And Baka lifting his recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so he can now
I think he
tour?
can now go again.
Oh, that's
because
cool.
he was recently was in
I think it was the UK
and Dubai somewhere. So I think he can travel. His music was doing very well. Actually, he is doing very well. So Shaka was like, a guy called him. Do you know this guy called Maddox? I'm like, yeah, I am.
I mean, what kind of question is that?
That guy, like that guy's music is doing very, like even like so Brazil,
Yeah.
get you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, those guys really like calypso, reggae, you know,
Yeah.
that kind of genres that came out of Caribbean. And so Maddox's music is one of those music that, you know, he's liked. And I'm like,
Actually, if you ask me, for me, Maddox is one of those, the very few artists. Nganso okuteekako, say for example, album ye, ne kubanga si forwarding aluyimba.
yeah.
For you, which artist is that? One or two? Ngoso okuteekako album ye n'owuliriza without forwarding a song.
Well, I play music. I would say purposefully.
Okay, I like that.
I would say purposefully.
So are you the kind of playlist type of person or call a playlist?
I don't do playlists.
Okay.
When I need to understand an artist, I listen to the entire catalog.
Okay.
Yes. If, like, for example, if I need to write a song
Yeah.
and I'm like, I need to channel Juliana,
Yeah.
ngenda nensanga like a playlist, or whether it is mix or whatever. It depends on why you release albums.
Yeah.
Kati nze nsanga catalog, I'm like, I need to write a song about this and this and this, or let me just listen and I see what comes to me. Because whatever chona chokola obo kitadde. So when I'm listening, I am just gathering what can come to me, what comes to me. Like chona chijja, I just, you know, soak it in, and then when I'm writing, I let it go, and then I just listen.
Wow.
And when I listen, bitandika okuja, like, I don't force art. Art is like is like water.
Yeah.
When you get a container that is circular, water will be circular. If you get a container that is rectangular, water will be rectangular. And that's why you have genres. But it's all music.
It's interesting because you bring me to a question I had for you. I really wanted to find out paint a picture for me, what your creative process is. You being a singer and a songwriter, who I also want to believe you take part in the production of your songs.
Oh, I don't sit to program and all that.
I can see that.
Yeah, no.
So what's your process like? How does it begin and how does it end? Are you the kind who just goes to studio and say, mpulira ndi inspired, lekanzi jao, tekako ebyuma?
Nah.
Or are you the kind that wakes up at 3 a.m. nogamba, that was good, where's my pen and paper?
I am that.
Okay.
For example, I was at campus. I had this guitar that was from campus. It didn't have it at first. It had all the strings. That's why I got it from campus.
Yeah.
But then time came when it didn't have that string number 6, the E, lower E, do. So nali wakanga never sing. The following day I had to sleep early so that the following day nkera nnyo kumacha. I used to commute from Makindye to Makerere like every day. So nga sawe mweno kunsanga mu lecture room. So as I was sleeping, I don't know, like tunes started playing in my head. Do you know, like when you see a kid trying to akulimba nti ayeba sinangali watu?
I know.
No, that's how I was. Yeah. I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, why am I lying to myself? I woke up, put on the light, like words were flowing. I wrote Nambi in like, I don't remember how many minutes, but there were a few minutes.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to sleep because the phone I had then was this one. Oba whitero instead of ite like whitero. I think there's no way I can record. So I wrote the words very well. Ngasagala kwebaka because ngamanyizo kwebaka nendwerabira.
I know. Yes.
So what I did was I think I slept for like an hour because nagama kanzileoko mukuddawo era still I failed to sleep. Otutwalanga otunziva nema nenzokoka mukuzuka era nakwataga nentawuduisa so that's severabira nentuka ku campus nentuteka ku piano so that I don't forget it. I sang it over and 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 boom, I had the song. Before I go to studio, I already have all the songs written down, like all of them. All of
like
them.
literally an entire album?
Yes. Before I go to studio, I have to first write an entire album.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I first write
Yeah.
and then I go to studio because I first judge. I am.
Oh, are you the kind who writes, and then you pick out,
Yes.
say, the best 12?
Not really.
Okay.
Story.
Oh, okay.
I can leave out a very beautiful song, but it doesn't serve the story, or it takes out from the story.
Yeah.
So I'm like, go jodda wali kanu katule wano,
Yeah.
kanu kajja kogera bulungi olugero, and it connects from this song to this song very well. So
You tell a story through the album.
that's why albums work for me than a single. Yes, a single doesn't work for. Okay,
So you
it
never
can
do-
go and
you
viral
never
and all
do
that.
Single releases, you don't do that.
I rarely do. I just do it for like now I can do it for just for no doc releasing can do that as I'm working on an album. Yes, just cancel kano ndabe how it let me kangeze set ulabe. But most of the times I enyimba nzigezesa on live performances to see how they work, to see people's reactions,
Okay.
to see how kanti kavude bulungi kaganye ku band until it plays very well. That's when I'm like, let's go and really record.
You know, I've followed your live performances for a while, yeah, and I have to tell you, you are, in my opinion, one of the best live performers.
Thank you.
Know, your performances are deep, they are interactive, they're so full of life.
Yeah.
How long have you done live performance? Because I know it's a skill that grows with time and with practice, and I can tell you're so good at it. Mulina engeri gye communicating with your band that is so admirable. Like they know when you're trying to say something with the ndingidi. Nasirisa mwali noyogere chinendigidi nakuddamu. How long have you done this?
We've actually been together with that band since 2011.
Wow.
Yeah. Twalifenako campus.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that since campus.
That's like what, 13 years?
Since 2011.
Yeah, it's about 13.
Yeah, 13 years, yes. When I was at campus, actually I was so deliberate. Told him to use job forms in senior 6. And I'm like, what am I going to do with my life, Wanangi? I was that person.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. But then I remembered, I'm like, wait, my mother actually used to sing. Yeah, she used to sing, she used to write songs, she used to act, she used to do all those things. Like, I think I am going to try that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because my auntie, who had kind of replaced my mother,
Yeah.
because my mother had passed away in 2008.
Sorry.
So she was like, Kenny soma ofune omala okusoma ogende mzee wajja kuyizayo omulimu office kuba my father used to work in a Ministry of Water and Environment. He was a commissioner of water and commissioner of Ministry of Water and Environment.
Okay.
Yes, so he used to work there. But I never saw myself there.
Sitting in an office. No, you cannot relate.
Like I could not. I'm like, how is it even? I tried to imagine it. I even visited his offices like several times. I'm like, I sit here and no. Techijja kusoboka. So whereas my mother used to write songs, mi fa mi ra mi ra.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she used to just notice the thing like, what are those M, Fs, S, re, ra, D. I'm like, what are those? I mean, I was saying letters. She had like a catalog of songs she had written. Though as in church.
Mama mi yezaala.
Basically,
Literally
yeah,
yezaala.
everything I do, she did.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Live.
yeah, the experience of performing live, it comes off as wanting to first, I need to that foundation, the guitar, the keyboard, because I was more interested in piano than guitar.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, but the piano was very expensive in terms of one, purchasing.
Okay.
Two, okay, now I need to move around with it.
And it's
okay,
heavy.
where am I going to get? No, you know
Guitar
what?
wachiro jisitula
Yeah,
wano.
exactly.
Naye mama.
Yes, that's when I was like, no, I can't negama kono mu guitar. So whenever I would learn on guitar, I would go on keyboard. Whenever I would learn on guitar, I would go on keyboard. So keyboard was more of the secondary, and it just to give me a different flavor. Because I remember when I was at campus, first year, into second year, 2013. Yeah, that's when I auditioned for Tusker.
Okay.
Yeah, you were one of the judges actually, and I first entered that room when you were when you were there alone. Surprisingly, you were the judge actually that said yes. The rest were like,
thank God. I've met a few people who've told me, I auditioned in front of you and you told me next time.
Surprisingly, when I first came, I did my original song, and guess what? I have been reviewing that original song that I sang, and you fit on that song.
Really?
Oh yeah. I remember I came, I sang Sanzo mano mulungi ngayimba akayimba amaso bulungi dobozi ayaka. I was like, I would say yes, but come back next round and we see. Then I was like, she said yes. When I came back, Matthew was there, Martha and you.
Yeah.
And then I put that blame on me. Why? I've realized that when I use my original songs, people will be like, okay, where can we put him? Where can we? There's no comparison. But when I do a cover, there's a comparison. And that the comparison, the person they are comparing me to usually wins. Yeah, I noticed that with all this. Because when I came back, I sang Don Williams. And in my head, I'm like, now why did I even sing Don Williams? Because it didn't serve my voice. It didn't serve anything. And I got, no, unfortunately, no. But then, for some reason, before I entered for the second auditions, I was outside playing those few new chords I had learned and the new songs I had, written down. And guys outside were like, "Go kulachi wano, kendo mu studio recording." I'm like, nope. The man njagala sagala studio now, njagala ku performing. I needed all I needed was to be on stage. I don't know why, but I felt like I needed to be on stage, and I needed that experience to. Part of the thing that actually took me to competitions was to get rid of this shyness, this timidness.
Okay, that's a good way to think about it. Because you think about only the exposure.
No.
And
it wasn't about exposure. It was about
for you to get more experience on stage.
Yeah, to get rid of the.
So it wasn't about the money as well?
No.
Wow.
Because I like if you give me that money then if you give me that money then I'm like, now what would I have used that money for? I'm like, I don't know. I don't actually know, because I didn't have a plan. My plan was only one: make sure you find a way to step on that stage.
Yes,
that's it, because that's how I felt. That's everything was pushing me go on stage. Everything was pushing me go on stage, and I also needed to release. There's something in my chest that I felt like I needed to release. My entire career has been, I would like to say, there has been a guide, like someone guiding me. There's been a guardian angel that, no, go like this. Itawano. Because when I start tracking, I'm like, how come I never went there? How come I never? Yes. How did I even decide? Okay, for the knuckles, I decided, let me pass.
And not go for the
knuckles. I'm not passing down. I'm like, let me pass up there and I be like, a circle. Start from here. Then they were groove. And that is what I did. Yeah.
So there's the other competition that you joined.
Rated Next. It was the following year.
So this is after TPF?
No, TPF was this year.
Yeah.
Rated Next was the following year.
Kugamba were determined.
And actually, when I saw going at Rated Next, I was like, I am going. Why?
Yeah.
I had learned the previous year that okay. So when I went for Rated Next, webagamba nti Uganda, you sing Ugandan songs. Mbikola akatabo kange ngazjayo
basindisa studio y'ekitabo kiramba
ngazjayo kibunoomu ngazjayo amaaso g'otulo. So all the songs I'm like, okay, so, wow. So I remember it was Sima Sabiti, Sharp Sewali, and Morris Kiria. Those were the judges in Rating Next.
And what was that like, that experience?
It was challenging at first because kwolwo nakeera nnyo nengula kasoda kange to get the form. When nagula kasoda to get the form nenjijuza bulungi, I submitted, I waited. Abaana bali bayimba. Uganda has talent.
Abaana bayimba. There's talent in this country.
Abaana asokono kati how am I going to compete here? Boba toli wa mutima mugumu.
Okudduka
emisinde kubanga abaana bayimba. Yaddala nno. So me, I went. It's like almost everything was working in my favor at the same time trying to challenge me in a way. Because I went there, nganda abana bayimba unaleta lwimba lunengamba, which song am I going to do? So nengenda kangena ne gospel, nengenda ne It Is Well. Kali kagenda mpola ngamanyi nti no not age. Eri jengeno kanyuge nnyo bategeere waga, oh, the voice is strong. But Saji tukanako, Sima Sabit was like, choose another song. I didn't think. I remember I was doing those learning songs and all that. So I bumped onto a song, When a Woman Loves, She
loves for real.
Because when I changed the song, I didn't even think, when a woman loves, stop, yes. Next.
Wow.
I'm like, oh.
That worked like magic.
I'm like, oh, just like that. Oh, yeah. Next. Okay. So, Kugenda Wali, they didn't register my name and my number.
Okay.
I remember Jowery and Naoma back then when she was still working with Vision Group. I remember even Susan and Sivira was still there. They didn't write my name. So Jowery told me, when we came back the following day, Jowery told me, Bobo kakasa waisem. Imagine I came at 8. Bobo kakasa waisem. Tula wali in that MTN arena. Barrieri nze ntudde opposite side. Nda buli mwana jao buli shoninga nabajja bayita bagenda. I was waiting. I waited for 10 hours.
Oh Jesus.
I waited. Nimuga naisema ino naisemu era ngina kulinda, and I waited. I was actually one of the last people who auditioned the second time. So whenever we meet with Jowery, we all like mwana gwe bana your resilience and all. I don't know what was on me, but I knew this is the path I was supposed to take. I whatever comes, I have to be. I have to wait. I have to be there. So I waited. After waiting, and guess whose song I sang? Morris's song.
Oh.
So his song, Woman. You make me feel like a puppet. You rule my every move. You distract my voice of command when you whisper in my ear. Yes, I sang that.
What was his reaction?
So I sang the first verse, and I sang the chorus, and I straight went from the chorus. I went to bridge. In the bridge, he does that. That kind of falsetto. He's like, Because of that falsetto, you know Morris. I'll say yes. Like, yeah. Nagami naiseko. Because she was like, Boba wa iseko, but judges will remember you, and they were like, yes, you are iseko. And then and then we went to the camp. Camp was intense. Abana nga bayimba. Top 30 ntuse ku top 30 abana nga bayimba. Top 20 tuse ku top 20. My goodness, top 20 was very, very, very intense. Very intense. Twaina mu abana ngoliye ayagala kuwandika kayimba kiro kya leero akaperforming enkeera nga how are you going to even do that?
Wow.
Era yakakola. Trans night ngalimu You know, I don't know if you know Kojo Derek.
Kojo, I know Kojo, and I think I met Kojo.
Yeah, this guy called.
He must have been in a competition as well.
Yes,
Kojo, I
so-
think aliko ne MTPF.
Oh,
I
oh
think
yeah, he
so.
was in a later TPF.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
But in Right and Neck, I don't know why he dropped the guitar then in TPF because that guy. Oh, you are going to 12 million yata. They are too many already.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to joke around most of the times with Daniel Kawesa, he who won in that. We used to joke around. Ye ingagamanze sidda ya Arua because he was found in Arua. His mother was from there.
Okay.
Kawesa natumubuuza Kawesa tebabera balugwala. You know that talk. But Kawesa tebabera balugwala. No, my mother ngayageze nakusoma kadinga akomawo kaye TPF rated next ya musange eyo.
Oh,
So nemulete Kampala nga ye all the time agamanze sidda mukyalo until he won.
So let me bring you back to recent times.
Yes.
There's something I want to ask you about creative people, songwriters most especially, but even producers, even vocalists. If there's something I've seen along the way throughout this business,
Yes.
especially songwriters and producers, they tend to get that burnout because they're always writing, they're always producing. No tukanga. There's times when I used to, for example, call Silver. Ngoba I need a new song or something.
Yeah.
Olusina gamba anti mpamu time. I need to. As a songwriter, do you get that sometimes? Do you get moments where you feel like, okay, I need to take a break, refresh, ideas zikomeo mpulira nkoye mpulira I'm getting a burnout right now. Do you get that?
Yeah, I get it. Oh, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
And when it happens, how do you reignite your creative juices?
I don't fight it.
You don't fight.
I
That's
don't
good.
fight. I don't fight it because one thing, when you go to basics, how did you get that talent you have? That's the first question. How did you get it? Like, did you develop it? Did you go and develop it? Did you come with it? Did you say, I want to cook best singer? I don't force it.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, I wrote a lot of songs. I don't know how many, but when I start, recouping all those songs that I have and in all those books that are scattered, I get to see a lot of songs that I even don't remember. That I like, oh, I didn't know this. Oh, I had forgotten this one. Wandikawari title. Me, I write titles. When I write a title, I forget. I remember the entire song.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah,
That's
just a title. I
impressive.
remember the entire song, the chords, everything. I remember.
Yeah.
So I get to see most of the songs, and then from remembering those songs, I go back to that time when I wrote them, and that feeling
And
comes
something
back.
reignites everything.
Yes,
Oh.
and when it comes back,
Yeah.
I find myself just katune kajja mu matu gange, but because when I try to write, I might sound like the other song I wrote, and it has happened many times, and that's why I'm like, I have to first write many songs, and then I choose. If that song it needs to be on the album because of the words, I go to the producer and I'm do not sounding no. So we have to find a way of this song not sounding like this
doctoring
one.
it. Yes.
It happened to me on Chibunom album. There's this song Katambala, and there's another song called Nkudizechi. They have the same movement. They have the same, almost same progression. Almost the same the same beat. I got a producer, Judy Keracho. I'm like, this song sounds like the other one. I go, okay. Katambala had beautiful words. Nkudizechi had beautiful words. And I'm like, how do I?
Oh man. Yeah.
Nendi Mulekera. My goodness, the magic he did. He did certain Katambala, he gave it that, but in a jazzy form. Mixed jazz and Eddie Wamala. I'm like, wow. And then the other one, he gave it that urban African. Like, you know, that jazz, like that African, urban African, you know, nostalgic sound. I was like, now, wow. So me, when I'm recording, I work with producers, an entire album, the entire album.
Yeah.
I make sure producer Mvayo nkukamudde.
Yeah. But it's expected for some of the songs to sound the same, especially when you are, you know, the creator.
Yeah.
Chibanga omukyala nga azaala abaana. Abaana bo baba balina okubeera with that similarity
Yes.
among them. It could be the skin tone, it could be the eyes.
Yes.
So it's a gift that God gave you. So obviously enyimba zijja kubaako with some similarity. Yeah.
But the burnout,
Yeah.
it happens a lot. And when it happens,
Yeah.
the solution, what I do, I stop writing.
Good.
Yes. When I stop writing, I go and experience.
Yes.
Like I go and experience. I don't even look for music.
Yeah.
I just let life happen to me. Because as a writer, as a creator, I mirror the society. So I just move around and say, oh, what? This is happening. I'm like, you get, I say new things, but I would like to say, my wish was ease. I wish Najemu era in like that era before yours, in between that, because I felt like I fit in that era.
You do.
I felt like I fit in that
Your
era.
depth, you do.
Like I
Yeah.
really needed to be around. Like music is happening because it was all about music.
Yeah, but you see, again, like Ngabe Teroganti, God doesn't make mistakes.
Yeah.
So you coming in this era gives us a chance to have comparison.
And
You see,
yeah.
we get to see the difference from what is there and what Kenneth has to give us.
Yeah.
You know, tell me about Sanyu. Sanyu as a soundtrack. How did that happen? Did they call you? Did you have the song already, or did you literally make it for them?
Well, the song is mine. It is still mine. I made it for them. However,
Yeah.
when it came to rights and all that,
Yeah.
it came to a point that where I have to actually remain with the rights.
Yeah.
And the song is still mine. Now for them, they're just using it for the show. And Navala Ningamba, what can I get out of it?
Yeah.
Because when it was just coming up, it was more of Power Magic, trying out, repeating this. I'm like, why do they have? So when they called me, give us a song about Sanyu, I asked Sanyu what is about Sanyu, local girl and all that. I first came up with the first draft on the first episode. I actually changed that song. It's on People of the Land album. It's called Muna.
Oh.
In the beginning, it was Sanyu, not Muna. Yeah. So I changed it, and Muna, I gave Muna that old Kasav Zouk.
Okay.
Yeah. I wrote another one. And that other one, because I had specific, like, before I write a song, I ask a lot of questions. How about this? How do you feel it? How do you see it? Okay, but now I know receiving. Like, I'll ask a lot of questions, and when I start writing, like, things fall in place without actually trying to fight.
Without forcing it.
Yes. So when Sanyu came, surprised after writing Sanyu, do you know what song came in mind? Bana bato teyagalanga Yesu. I was like, interesting. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Watanda byannaku
Sanyu,
like,
Sanyu.
there's a comparison. I'm like,
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Do you think that it being a soundtrack contributed to it being successful as a song? As your song?
Truthfully, Sanyu, it be playing every day on Sanyu contributed
Really, I think it does.
every day.
Because
on
we guys,
Sanyu.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, the production.
Yeah.
But the time I was really watching that thing all the time,
Mm.
that song used to play in my head all the time. Not that I don't listen to it now, but it really contributed to that song being one of my
Yeah.
favorite songs.
Yes.
Kubanga naluwuliranga buli lunaku, Monday to Friday.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it being catchy and easy to remember.
And easy to sing along.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it whoa, the song itself
Yes.
is good. It can stand alone.
Definitely, absolutely.
Yes. But being on Sanyu, it changed there's a total difference. Why? Because had it not been on Sanyu series, I wouldn't have actually known the impact it has on toddlers.
On toddlers.
I wouldn't have known. Because I see toddlers react to the song.
Yeah.
In my mind, it beats my understanding. I'm
And you
like,
know, if
what
you
are
want
they
to-
listening to?
If you want to get the success of a song, try with the
Yeah.
toddlers. That's it.
Now, with Sanyu,
Yeah.
now you see people love Nach. Time is going to come,
Yeah.
and Sanyu is actually way above Nach. Why?
Hane.
Because
Simanyi wabu- I don't know.
the reason why I'm saying that is
Because
because
Natch is another one.
the reason I'm saying that is because there's a generation that is growing at that song. There's a huge generation, and that soap Sanyu, I'm seeing it being played over and over and over and over and over for like I think the next 5 years, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're that age of toddlers. Now that you know how we used to listen to X of Afrigo back in the day, and up to now we're like
You still do.
you used to do like Groove to Afrigo. How we used to listen to Namagabage. I was in primary.
And they still
Yeah,
sound as
and
fresh.
up now I'm like, we gig them, we play them, we sample them, we
True.
the
you can't
sound,
get enough.
yeah, you can't get enough. So I'm seeing it, being in that category of that because I love setting myself up for the future in a way.
Yeah.
And if I set myself up for the future, I'll be like, I'll be just calling me. I'll be on other stuff. They call me, make the money, and go. Yes.
Let's talk about the business of music.
Yes.
You talked about a concert. I saw you talk about a concert you had to cancel during the lockdown. And you had literally made a deposit,
Yes,
basically
yes, yes.
ngotademo akasenteko, and then you had to cancel it because of COVID, obviously. And this is something we go through a lot in the creative business. Nti every time you organize a concert, you don't know if this thing will go through or not.
You never know.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Kugamba kubanga manager wange ali fane. I don't know whether you've met him. I know
I've met
bigambo
him.
bingi.
I've met
naye
him.
nzijukira lumu yayogera ekintu ng'agerageranya risk gye tutekinga nga tukola shows n'agamba nti kubanga kusitula nsawo ya buwunga n'okkirira mu park n'otandika otambula oba otuuka mu makati ga park enkuba n'etonya n'ekuba ensawo ekintu ekyo nasekanyeze kuno ezinzigwamu. Then the first time he said it, I laughed, but it was so like real.
Yeah,
because
true.
that's exactly what we do. Okwata ensawo y'obuwunga n'okiteeka ku mutwe n'otandika okutambula mu park enkuba n'eyiika.
It's not like you're insured. It's not like there's like the art
Yeah.
art alone.
Yeah.
You see, olaba tuli mu lutalo lwa copyright,
Yeah.
lutalo lwa associations, federations, and all that. Government needs to give us this. Government needs to give us that.
Yeah.
We are supposed to do this and all that. But what are we fighting for? That's the question. Are we fighting for the survival of art, or we are fighting for copyright? I don't know if I'm making sense.
Please explain.
Survival of art. We have given you copyright. How many artists do you think are going to gain from the copyright? Okay, listen to tutaddewo because by not take out chimapeera nga kiri awo nga abonna abantu abali omwo they are only
Yeah.
concerned about the creative industry.
Yeah.
Music, dance, drama. creative industry.
Yes.
Mulimu n'abakola obulanga naye still bagwa omwo. Mulimu n'abakola ads bagwa omwo. Because wompa copyright. Okay, copyright weeri.
Yeah.
I would say. Because wogamba nti teriiwo gwe bba oluyimba olabe. Oli weegeye n'agamba nti wogamba police tekola gweziza omusango babire nga bakunoonya ojja otegera nti ko police ekola ki ekola. And then in my head I'm like, according to my understanding, I'm like, I think us asking for copyright that is already there is wasting a wastage of time. We're supposed to ask for distribution. How? I remember the first time I listened to you. My mother had a cassette, a drawer cassette. Mwalimu cassette ya Nabikoa. That album Nabikoa. That's the first time ngokateka muno bobo yiga kayema kawandika. Kasiwukira had correct maybe bibyaliwo ebiseera ebyo ndi ajja nagulako music wo nama naamu distributing and music yatuukanga mu buno obusolya bwonna gyotaamanya yatuuka
ne wabweru w'eggwanga.
At the moment with the distribution sites we have twina YouTube, twina Spotify, twina all those, and of which Spotify actually I was researching about all of this. America their Senate eri mu kusalawo yagala all the digital platforms that distribute music zisandika okusasula $1 per stream. $1 per stream bagala bisa into a bill nti wobo nti oli gundi $1 per stream. Kakati ffe wane Uganda twavaawo mu era ya kasiwukira kubanga mumanya nti nkoze music kasiwukira agenda kujja mu distributing. The challenge we have here is distribution. Because even the government doesn't know how to tax. Ejja ku kivulu ye netwala sente nyingi etute VAT netwala ne VAT ne withholding ku kivulu batute sente nyingi by the way zodda naye waka ntono nnyo okusinzira government zekola ki zetwala zotaddeme on all that. And I'm like, how about distribution? Because oli wagamba nti tulina collecting royalties from where? Okay, radio zifunye music zimujewa. If we don't have that streamlined distribution, we are going to get back and forth. But because that's the only challenge. Because from distribution, we're in a product. At the same time, you're tracking it.
You can track it.
Because that is what we don't have. We don't have that tracking system. We don't have that centralized system. Nti bw'oba toli wakasiwukira oli wagundo bw'oba toli wagundo oli wagundo bw'oba toli wagundo. And you saw back in the day the industry thrived actually. They toured. Now again, mugendeke Masaka music jali awo. Hey, mujiko the likes of the Ebonies. Nga they are still a music group then. They would nga bakungana abayimbi bangi nga bagenda okubeera kati saa zino ntaka yimba nga mbaze nti nno kana kayimba kankole merchandise netege performance. Why do you think I actually in the beginning I made sure I have to perform so that I know that's where the money is in Uganda at the moment. But distribution because kati wenkutunza wanefuna emitwalo jange 3 oba 5 manya sente zikoze zituuse bwenchiteka ku YouTube omwana agenda gi downloading you don't know how nobo gizibyo you don't know how again njina album bwana wakubi album yakabi nange najiwuliriza ogenda kola ninga kasente tekatuuka. So if we get distribution
atenezo platforms bana Uganda bameka abaziriko
banji
like
baziriko
you put your music set for example on Spotify nebo tunulira abantu abali mu Uganda population
abajikozesa
how many people?
Well, the what? The planned kids.
Chobolanga sente that eziwera ezivayo.
Nezivayo. Ate nezivayo, how do they justify or quantify? And you're supposed to get this.
You're right.
Okay. Bungama ntino I am supposed to get 0.0 maybe 3 per stream. 0.03 per stream. How do you come up with that number? How? Okay, so my art is worth that
That's 0.
that 0.03. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. So if we have that distribution, oli ajagamba nze music wange mutunda bwezi gobo wo mutunda bwezi, it's okay. Ne mutunda kakatale tetulina katale.
Back then byali tebyali streamlined in the original way that it should be. Naye atenga
distribution
sende baina ngozirabako zijja no
zijja no zirabako
zali ntono but zezaaliwo nenga zali zijja
nenga oziraba
omusajja mpadde sente by for these years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Zalingawo nature but you didn't know how to negotiate.
We didn't.
Yes.
I will not lie to you.
Yeah, you
we
didn't. And you can see that now.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know Maddox has sold his catalog to Kasiokira.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know part of Chameleon's album, some of them,
Yeah.
they are under Kasiokira estate.
Yeah.
Most of artists are single.
Same thing. Nabikoa.
Yes.
It was Msajja Bamwitani oyo. Nenga Nabikoa na yo.
So now we didn't. Back in the day, that those things we didn't. You guys didn't know how to negotiate. But now, art has totally different ways of seeing. Kubanga tebyali mu Uganda wokka. Nebulaya you see the kinds of Prince. Prince na jacket inyala nataka kumuita na komonga I am the artist.
Yeah, he was fighting.
Yes.
The same.
Yes,
you
the
know,
same thing.
same
And Michael
stuff.
Jackson, Agama, the same thing he did. Agama, you guys, I came to Sony and now I left Sony, owning half of Sony. I'm like, how did you even? I'm like, I think I one finger. Or maybe tebagala artists are very bagaga. Or again, I don't know.
Yeah.
But until we sort out that distribution, because Nigeria jawa nakola show na juza. Na ye wawe
waliwo system by the way ereta sente.
Can you believe just here in Kenya?
Yeah.
Just here in Kenya,
yeah.
they have I was listening to their radio in Kenya. The top 10 according to Spotify. I'm like, wait. You guys Spotify etekamu sente mu radio. Kubanga talking about Spotify chiba kitegeza nti according to top 10 Spotify, we are playing top 10 Spotify. Like top 10 Spotify. When in Uganda, we are playing top 10 songs of the week.
No, where was that?
How?
How?
So, if we have distribution, I have a friend called Sima. He has that app is developing. I've had them in industry for years now. I don't know if you know Sima. Yes, he has been in industry. Again, I'm nyonyola how ingiri because we try to get a nyonyo na ye. We came to a conclusion that our industry only challenge erimu is distribution, and if we get to kutereza distribution, policies zezo zijja kuita mangu. Why? Who pushes for those policies to be implemented? Abantu abalobbyinga sente ezo nti nze nyala kuteeka sente mu industry nzirabawo ozirabawo naye I need to be protected. My money needs to be protected. How are you going to be protected? Otherwise if tutwate tuina muntu ayagala kuteeka mwebali naye how am I going to track? First work on the katale nfunya amatoke gange ngalimi ebikibi na nina akatale jengeno gateeka tetulina katale tukosa butale bw'abalala abatugamba nedda eminwe ogw'omunwe nedda ogw'omunwe gwa 1,000 nze gwa 1,000 akusalirawo price atabaddeeyo mu thought process
creation of the product.
All this my summation was if we find that distribution kuba mulimu abafunamu eri nga afunye omukisa nakigira bulungi nnyo ntikikwata ebiki niramala kuteekamu nyingi so that zivaayo naye ate nga alina wanewaka alina wasa otandi. Imagine if you released a song one like this, let's say in an hour you can get like 30k views in an hour. If buli omu abawuliriza ng'akuwadde let's say awuliriza akuwadde nusu 5 list multiply ebitaano ebyo times 30,000. How much is that? You get how much is that? If we figure out distribution industry ejja kubeeteredde.
Yeah. And so one of the issues, Jenny, now with our industry not being streamlined like that, like it should be. Nti even when it comes to olaba abayimbi abatuvaako, if we had those, you know, streamlined royalties nga zijja nga waliwo system, we wouldn't see their families, you know.
The first person would be the
wouldn't
person
see
who
their
composed
children.
the national anthem.
Exactly.
The second person would be the person who designed that flag.
Yeah, we would have seen at least their families
Yeah.
benefiting from those things.
I think every day a national anthem plays
Ochiraba,
somewhere.
but who gets paid? Nobody, and no one cares.
I don't even think even the government looks for that money or whatever.
Yeah.
And yet they're supposed to.
Can look at Mose Radio and the rich catalog that guy had. Ochagera. You can imagine how much revenue his catalog would have been bringing in right now. You know? Olabanga, sometimes omuyimbi bwabanga they've passed on in the US, you literally go and see the numbers going up on iTunes,
Yes.
on the, you know, the Billboard charts. Never government is going straight back to number one.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I could see that when a
Recently,
Ugandan artist
Tracy Chapman,
Kachariwo.
someone covered her song.
at the awards.
Yes.
She
And it-
actually featured on the performance.
Yes.
And that song apparently went back to number one.
Can you
I'd
imagine?
love to see that for Ugandan music. I'd love to see that for
Now
Ugandan
imagine,
music.
how do they even know it went back to the charts? Chiba chitekeza you have a
But
few things that didn't streamline.
system
Yes.
ebalaga nti zizo
Yes.
zambuka. We don't have that here.
Actually, eri olutalo already between independent artists and record labels. There are some independent artists who are actually doing way better than people who
Yes.
are under record labels.
Yes.
So kati mulimu ako ka pull and
Kwesika.
push and zino platforms ezisinga ezidistributing music tezinywa nnyo beetu bano ba independent artists because bano record labels zifunamu in a way.
Yeah.
Zine engeri zifunamu nga onagamba nti otadde ogundiyo akatale nze nogamba kakati nze abuna naita wano fuba okulaba nga at least alekawo 1,000. So but binary system engeri bagikolamu awo kati independent artist no nali signed but there's a way kubanga onali signed in resources.
Yeah.
Naye ate those resources don't guarantee you making a hit or whatever. Naye ate ono aina few resources and agenda nafuna nakuba akaji nakasamba naitawo.
Exactly.
Now record labels nesanga okujja. Some of those abagana they are really frustrated by
The powers that be.
yeah, the powers.
Yeah, and now that you talk about that, there's this talk that's been ongoing. So anyway, I've been following, but it still concerns us as creatives because no one chinzo tuka or it's been around.
Yeah.
I've been seeing songwriters in America who, over the years, have been writing some of the biggest songs that we've been listening to.
True.
But we had no idea they wrote those songs because the big stars and their record labels do not give these people credit.
Yeah.
In fact, it's gone so far that some of those artists, Sagala Kogera Manya, I don't want to get sued, some of those artists actually go ahead and claim to have written the song. Nengo Ruimba muntu mulala yalwandika. But it's like these songwriters have gotten bolder and they're actually on TikTok literally speaking out. I wrote this song. She didn't write that song. I had no idea nti in the United States of America they would have such a problem ongoing right now. Because I've had that in our country,
Yeah.
you know, where people write songs and they don't get the credit.
Well, there are those
You
who
know.
don't want the credit. For example, I'll name one who said
Who don't
it.
want the credit?
Yes, who said it? T-Pain.
He does not want the credit.
No. There are certain country songs he wrote for some artists. He didn't mention the names.
Okay.
So now the record labels, there's look for it and you'll watch it. He said, me, as long as I get the check, I do not need to be in on those credits. I don't need them.
Okay, but you see
Because
the
if-
difference with him is that it's his choice.
Okay, it came out of
He chose that.
he chose it from a different angle than that angle included race.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so that's like, I don't need to be on that as long as I get the check. Just give me the check, keep the rest. give me what I negotiated.
Yeah.
Simple. So that now those who I think those abakayana they negotiated something else.
They didn't negotiate
And
well.
Maybe they negotiated well and they never takolachi, never fulfilling because a songwriter kubanga or you sign it a
Yes,
paper.
yeah.
And the fact that Odinava Nagamba Gundi nedda. Let us talk about this because our single abamokuvayo they are silenced in one way or another. Kat maybe abavayo ajanava Nagamba why? This and this and this and we agreed this and this and you didn't fulfill your end of the bargain. I fulfilled my end of the bargain and you didn't fulfill your end of the bargain. So that's why abambavayo kat because of those contractual things.
Yeah.
And one again okuwaba sente zagenda kuteekamu zijja kusinga ati zebamu akayimba.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day nga alina kwekubira nduulu kulabisa kubanga right now oba tulina amaanyi nakulabisa bulabisa.
It's really getting interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to you,
Yes.
Kenneth, because the day is for you. Social media, wetubadde kyetwalituogerako somehow, but now I'd like to point on something that's been ongoing, and that's toxicity on social media.
Toxicity on social
There's
media.
a lot of, like you post something, and you get comments and you actually wonder omuntu ono anzize mune kyenjogedde yakiwulidde oba kyembadde njogerako, are they having a bad day? How do you deal with negativity on social media? Are you even like a full-time social media person? Are you always on social media? Are you active?
I am active on social media.
Yeah.
Ababanzi omu kubabeera mu Bumoli.
Mukamoli gwomukwabo.
Nze nkubabeera mu Bumoli, but I'm active.
Yeah.
However, mulimu ebintu byesiwa mazzi because for me negativity affects me quite differently. It sinks in my heart. I feel like a hole is built here whenever I encounter something negative, and I struggle so much to actually make it positive. So that struggle, why go through the struggle? Why don't you just avoid it?
Yeah.
So most of the times I've been avoiding unless it's unavoidable. If it is unavoidable, what I do is I face it. I just sit and look at it, and then I figure out how I'm going to come out of it.
Yeah. I haven't seen you in that much trouble though. You're still in the safe zone.
Oh, I'm still in the safe zone. Maybe it will come, but I don't know when. But I think by the time it will come, I think. You see,
Yeah.
So right now, I would say I am be on the guard. They say be on the guard, be watchful, because most of the times when we drop our guard, that's when it hits us.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't,
Yeah.
it usually creeps around. Umanyi when something, hyenas ngazira something is up the tree. Zimanyi anytime. It has to kijavayo. Enjera gyakirema kiveeyo, ennyoto gyakirema kiveeyo kigenda kinoonya amazzi anytime. So now people are like that, like they are hyenas.
Suckling.
Ziri awo. Zikutonera ziseka.
Essaawa yonna.
Kola ensobi. Oke wansi.
Yeah.
Because it's like I would say this trait, I don't know why, this trait is mostly in black people.
True.
Not just Ugandans.
No.
Black
It
people.
goes beyond.
It's like black pepper and chicken.
It goes beyond, and I don't know what it is. I don't know why we fight each other like that.
I don't know.
Crazy.
I would say what I would say.
Yeah.
This is my opinion. It could be true, it could be wrong. But you see, when you're given katuna bakuwadde akuwa ne provision. When you bakuwadde something, akuwa provision.
True.
And wakuwa provision, wakuwa doesn't mean no kyakwadde tekiriko negative side. Because for abasinga bonna tuba tusuubira smooth sailing. Wewetegereza obulungi, the people who have suffered so much are black people. Black people, because where else do black people come from? Like where else except Africa? No, I'm saying this, as long as you have this black pigmentation, you're African. So, according to my understanding and my small research I've done, and my thinking and my intellect, hey, come, let us reason together. According to that, I believe the black people were the people who were promised.
Okay.
That my thought. Because which nation has suffered more than black people?
It's not there.
Which nation, like which people have suffered? Up to now, go to America, go anywhere, you still they throw a slur. Get in China, but I'm like, Chinese, them Africa, still they get fascinated when they see a black person. Some of them want to experiment on them. Some of them, they're like subhumans. I saw one day on Twitter a father disowned his daughter just because the daughter went out on prom with a black guy.
Oh man, yeah. Those things are happening
Like
all the time.
disowned, like I've disowned you. I do not know you. In fact, you know what? I'm cutting you off of like from credit cards. What even everything. I don't know you anymore. I'm like,
Is it that serious?
What did I'm trying to understand? What did in the beginning? I thought it was commerce.
Yeah.
Like, hey, bring them to work on the plantations. But then, no, you see, shipping them is now expensive. Now, you know what? Let us bring the plantations here. And you see tea, you see sugarcane, you see tea, you see tobacco, you see vanilla, you see those coffee, you see most of those things. Where the guys over, I'm like, and Takachi area Jimo on the planet, African soil.
Yeah.
You get.
But
So
I want to ask you a question. Just want to make sure I'm understanding you. When we were talking about black people, not just Africans, but black people fighting each other, and then you talked about the suffering. Are you then saying that the suffering, are we still traumatized from that?
Somewhere.
Is that what's causing the darkness?
Somewhere in the Bible it says, "Woe to the land when the slave becomes king." There's this story about a slave who was really clinical in his work.
Okay.
Time netuka nafuna his freedom. Nafuka a lord. Like ufuna freedom. A lord no kugamnota no kubera yeah. The story is in America. Now, after this guy got his freedom, now he started doing what the slave masters did to him. And he was doing it to his fellow black people. And guess what? The slave masters were picking a leaf from what this guy was doing, because whatever he was doing was worse than what they did to him. You get? So, end of the day, some people, we're getting this. Watch the way people move, the way people behave. Munimu that ka default settings, yaka kavaya, konga, nga tobiriko. It's like, do you breathe or breathing happens to you? Time comes,
Do you breathe or breathing happens to you?
Okay, if you breathe, then sibomoka go for an hour because you said you do. If it happens to you, then you have no control. Yeah. There are those people. There are those things that remain in your head. And you do like, I don't know why I do this thing. I don't know all the time I do this thing. Why the body, the mind, the psyche, everything changed into that mode, into that mood, whatever. When something happens, you
drop everything.
Run on that. Drop everything. Like, drop everything. Someone drop everything. Just kuna ngabwoli no vayo.
So meaning that we're still locked in a certain mindset.
It's a mindset. Because no la woli ngavuddeyo. And guess what, Munna, surprisingly? It works both ways. oli waba avuddeyo sometimes kimulema okukomawo wansi okuyambako banne. Why? Because when you try to come back, you might be dragged. Oyinza okusigalayo.
I don't want to remember what
There's,
happened to
there's
me.
remembering and there's being pulled back.
It's like someone drowning. No gawe
Yeah.
naddayo kumujjayo.
Exactly. So kati mulimu abamu agamba, if you can come up, I will
Yeah.
help you from up, but I cannot come down.
Yeah.
So kati according to my analysis, tukyalimu tulina that hate, that anger, because the reason why I brought that story is we focus more on the negativity.
I know.
And okay, there's some
There's
good.
a lot of goodness going on.
Yes,
But we don't see
exactly. When God gives you good, good comes with negative side. But most of the times we focus on the negative side. I don't know how it serves us. That's why people get sick.
it. Yeah.
People are only and guess what?
Watamanyi nti just
Jealousy, envy, anger, all those are energy leaks. They keep on dropping. And guess what, Munang? Sometimes tobaninya. Why? It
nga bw'ogambye nti
kijja
sometimes
muli
nabo
ne tamanya.
they have no
Yes,
control
exactly.
over it.
Tamanya ne I'm like, why? I don't know.
But I know.
Like, what do you mean you don't know? I don't know, but I just don't. Nenga ugenda kweka waddayo najja n'akavalo nakebera buno ugenda kwesa nagamba
Ayina trauma gye yafuna gye yayitamu.
yes. Maybe akayimba kokale playing at that specific time. Maybe on omuntu oba mama oba taata oba
Yeah.
sibling, there's something that happens. Nenga they also don't have control over that. However, if they track it, they can uproot
Yeah.
that thing, I would call it enzirugaze. Etera ku miti eyo nekula, you know those leaves ebikula ku ola mutu gwa fene tukulika ebikola ebirala byava enzirugaze. That is cancer. Yeah, enzirugaze is cancer actually. Mumiti, yeah, that's cancer because etandika ekulire omufene lwaki gobera n'ebikola ebirala byutategeera na kutegeera byotamanya na kumanya nti nno ebitegeera na kubaza fruit. That is the cancer. Cancer grows, you feed it. Now akawada akatonogera ko akagejja why you feeding it, oyo nomulaba nga ina senyiga amulemeddeko ekifo kimulemeddeko waki kumulemeddeko nga tamanyi nenga is because of that. Yes, that's why I give thanks to God who gave me this music. I cannot do music when I have negativity or anything on my heart.
Yeah.
I cannot even perform. When Nemba I've lost someone today, ngenda performing there, I have to first forget them.
I know that feeling.
That it happened to me. The day I lost my father is the day I went to perform for. There's a Rotary Club in Rubaga, naye eri somewhere wali Mona Lisa. Waloka cottage ziriya, I'm forgetting the name. Ziriya wansi.
Yeah.
Pretty old. The day I lost my father, I was actually leaving and ngenda ko gig, that gig. Ne bankobera ni mzee afudde. Like, okay, but let me first go and perform.
Oh my God.
I went and performed, but I didn't show anyone that anything had happened. Even people when I didn't call an they didn't know. They didn't know. After performing, actually before my last set, I told this lady, my dear, nandiyagadde ogenda mu kyalo now because engeri gye nkwata musesebiri allow me to go because I've just lost someone and I need to be there.
You said someone, you didn't say.
I actually said their father, and I need to be there. Like, oh, sorry, but can you give us one set so that you can?
I can relate.
That it taught me a lot. It taught me
I can relate.
When in this business.
Yeah, it's you have to switch off and do your job. Atenga nabo, they don't mean it like that.
Exactly.
Kubanga they're not in your shoes,
Yeah.
so they cannot relate. Yes, they know what it's like to lose someone.
Yes.
Naye ati nabo balina kye bakwagaza. Okitegeera. Kati nze I've been in that space where someone comes and tells you, when are you giving us a new song? Naye ng'oyina moment gy'olimu,
I know.
you're grieving or okitegeera.
Nkitegeera.
Bambi they can't relate and you cannot blame them at all.
Yeah.
But you just learn to maneuver through your type of business nga bwe running, because what's tricky with us is that we give you happiness, the
Yeah.
audience. We're the ones who give it to you.
Yes.
Because we bring the music, the happiness, the joy,
happiness,
the dancing.
You change the environment, everything. You have to make sure it changes.
You know, which means gwe buli ssaawa olina okuba nga oli happy. Naye jjukira oluusi munda
Totally.
you're dealing with a lot. I remember I used to go through that on the radio as well. Nakolako ku radio
Yes.
for about 6 years ku Capital. And there are certain mornings when I'd come to work nga waliwo bekibaddewo ewaka. Oluusi n'otuuka ku mulimu boss n'asooka akuyisaamu eggaali oba mwena kye wakoze. Yeah? And then you have to get on the mic and start sounding as happy as ever.
Oh, yeah.
So that practice, by the way, kyanjigiriza nnyo okubeera nga I can just switch
off, yeah.
when it's time to work. But we could talk all day. You're a deep talker. I feel like I could sit with you and have coffee and talk all day. Yeah. But I just want to ask you one more thing.
Yes.
Apart from music, I know music is probably your first love. What else are you passionate about when you're not doing music?
Life. Well, I use music to reach out to people mostly. Music is a tool for me that helps me. I would say, you know, in my A level, I was my nickname was Musao.
Musao?
Yeah.
Why?
The way it came. In my first week is when I was actually is when I was given that name. The first week of reporting to Senior 5. Nebampita tried to joking around. I don't know how for some reason I had learned, you know, how to blend then with people because of the prior, you know, being in boarding school. So Kaduwano, I remember his name was Magero Joseph. Yeah, Magero Joseph. Oba yantumye ki something mpezaako something kati nga tamanyi linnya lyange. And on the day I had reported twalinayo, there was a GP class. You might introduce yourselves and all that. And So when my turn came, I stood up to introduce myself. On that day, I just reported to school. I just arrived, new school. Before I even spoke, the entire class laughed. In my own, like, what are they laughing at? I think I made a face. I didn't. They continued laughing, and I'm like, what is happening? I didn't know what was happening. And up to now, I don't know what happened. Why the entire class laughed. And since then, the you know, students, you know, kept on, you know, coming to me. Yeah, it's totally kakati now. In that very week of reporting, Magero yali ageza kunga man pezako ngageza kuita linnya lyange ningi nyayirabidde. Nanga gwe gwalinga omusawo Muganda. Gwe pezako gwalinga omusawo Muganda. And nange I also replied because in my primary I don't know how many nicknames. In my second O level, I don't know how many nicknames I had. For me, I was just going on with life. So, on giving me that Musao, even though Nadako Musao. My senior 5, no one knew Mugabe. They knew Musao.
That's interesting.
My senior 6, that's when they started to, no, I know your name. I know your real name. You're Kenneth Mugabe. But why do they call you Musao? Why do they call you Musao? And you do arts, yeah, but they call you Musao and you do arts. I'm like, yeah.
Was a medical doctor.
Yes. Guess what? My first album, releasing it, people are like, oh my God, you do not know what you're doing. Like, this music gives me life. At the meaning, in the beginning, I didn't understand. But then when I told a name for me, I'm like, wait, I'm actually doing more than just music.
Singing.
So away from music, I try to act, and right now I'm in a musical.
Okay.
Everything I do is it's around music. I tried to do other things. I don't know how to give my energy somewhere else. If I give my energy somewhere else, I have to leave music.
Which you can't.
And when I leave music, I have to now learn from the beginning, because I'm this person who breaks everything down and then builds again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I don't have anything else I do except the music.
Yeah.
Think for people, because it's more than music.
Yeah, but you feel like your music is like therapy.
Yeah, I feel like it's therapy.
Yeah.
And lately, more I've been getting those, I would say, testimonials. Oh, your music helps me do this. Recently, I was at down here, on this shell down here, near KFC. Yes. And very hot. Yeah. And then there's this lady who jumps off border, naingira KFC. Like, for some reason I noticed her. I don't know why I noticed, but I noticed her. Umalo kugula amazi in Fuluma supermarket. She came, she stood in front. Excuse me, you're Kenneth Mugabe, right?
I
know. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
And that's what she said.
That's all. I knew what she was saying, but thank you. I met another couple in Muyenga. There's a place where I'm told Yabaron. It's called Green something. I'm forgetting the name. I found a couple there. Actually, it was a lady. They have that master. Forgetting the name. It's like Rotary, but it's called a different name.
Okay.
But it's like Rotary. I'm forgetting the name. Master match something. Forgetting them. I met the lady. She like, Kenneth Mugai. She took some time. Then she later, you have a chapter in our book, our whose book, in our book. Okay, Yeah. You see, me and my husband, we were going through something, and then your music happened to us. We listened to it, and then I'm like, okay. So we wrote about you. So meaning it was that
in their
deep,
book.
In a book, in their book, there's a chapter.
Wow.
I think they were going through something, and my music was.
You must have been a big part of their life by the time.
And I kept getting all those. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I think I can end up farming, because if no music, I think I would farm because I like seeing new things come up and
You should,
and then
you should give it time.
Oh yeah, it is. I'm going to give it time because my father was also a farmer. Oh yeah, so he was also a farmer. I know if I'm not doing this, I have to go and do that. But before I venture into farming, this music, okay, I've done that. I've researched farming. I've searched where I learned and all that. I've searched. But before I give it that much thought, there's this baby that has actually now grown into something that I'm also amazed. But what it does, I'm like amazed. I'm like,
I did this.
Yeah, I don't even say I did this because I'm like, please explain. I need to understand. I don't understand why you actually say that. Deep. You just know you helped us. Like, how did I? I need to know those stories. Maybe my next project should be gathering those stories.
Exactly. Maybe do like a mini documentary or something.
Because there's a lot that goes on that I also don't know. But my music is doing that. And the fact that it does that, it alekera okubera muziki wange nabira muziki waawe kubanga gwosisinkana mwana wanyimbira akayimba kano kana akayimba kange like gune nziya kawandika kange.
I know. I know.
Yes.
Okay, before we go,
yes,
there's this little game I like to play. I mention a name. And these are people you know. These are people who've walked in your path, people you've probably worked with. So when you hear the names, they're familiar. Oba Bamanyi. But when I mention the name, just tell me what comes to mind, what you think of them, maybe a memory, maybe a thought. Yeah?
Okay.
Isaac Labongo.
Oh, Isaac Labongo. Twakula wamu. Not really kula wamu. Like I met him in Vacation Senior 6.
Okay.
And no. I met him in, I think I was my Senior 6 before Vacation. Between there. And he's a small guy with a huge voice.
Oh, okay.
So we used to write those songs. Yasumira ke chasanko in PG. So we used to write songs. Nga tuzimbia ku track. Vacation Senior 6.
Yeah.
Tugende chasanko. Na tuzi performing. Aonga. Boye basoka yo. We used to call him K's.
Okay.
He used to call K's. He's like K's. I'm like, why K's? And then up to now I don't understand why K's. And then he was called Shaban. Nayenga yeita he chose Sean.
Yeah.
Kati nze nga bampita nnyo lye bampita mu A-level musawo. Yes. So you guy know your best. So we even recorded a song called Take It Up. Every time I take it up with the mic them follow.
You, Labongo and Shaban.
Yes. Every time I put it up, unzikirira, sanukira, muziki gunyonyogera. Every time I take it up in the mic them follow.
In a memory.
Every time I put it up. Oh, those days.
So where are they? Do you still see both of them?
No. K's Isaac Labongo works. I think he works with Medin Sereko right now.
Okay.
Sean Shaban. I last heard from him. He was trying to okudda mu muziki guno kubanga ye yatuinako yatusingako experience in this. Era yomu ku bapipa bangamba man kola nako.
Shaban ko badogamba abantu.
Kola nako.
Okay.
Yes, the last time I heard was around lockdown. He had just gotten his daughter. So,
oh, good.
Yes.
Okay. Joe Kahiri.
Oh, now Joe Kahiri was my mentor.
Wow.
Yes. So he didn't even know what was going on when we went to him, because we went to him. I chose Kwela for internship in Mike at campus.
Yeah.
And may her soul rest in peace, Madame Hamida, she just passed away recently. She was the one responsible for blessing us. So when I chose Kwela, she said, Kwela, okay. And Kwela had just done that Serena concert.
Okay.
Kwela, okay. Go with Happy K, the saxophonist. Went with Happy K. There's Roscoe Kayongo, plays traditional instruments. He also has his own band. And Erin Anawire, she was singing. But Cindy K. Mukwela, and the rest is history. But Joe, after internship, I asked him, kine kinya kitegera bulungi kubanga eri bali bangambe nti waliyo nako. Kati I'm like, how about I pass through here, because I had seen them on TV and in a magazine when they had released is Afrotopia, their album Afrotopia, and there was a magazine Kumeza when alaba More Roots being interviewed.
Oh, More Roots,
yeah. And I'm like, I think I can pass here. And I chose them before actually even going to campus.
Great.
So I'm like, Kwela, we want to go gama Kwela to places, and I chose Kwela, and Vatusinika Nevano. Then after internship, I asked Joe to help me out with this because I didn't understand everything. So Joe was like, okay, stay around. So Kwela would play, and when they had a break, Mugabe would come and play.
Oh, nice.
In between. And I play 1-2 songs, then they come back and play. Okay. So, in 2016, Joe still helped me release my first album, Chibunomu. Oh, that album changed everything. That's the album I had Nachi, Chibunomu, Masogo Tulo, they had Nambi. There's those songs that were authentic and kind of, nostalgic, and those songs that made people think I am a 50-year-old in a 20-year-old body. So,
Joe
he's-
plays a big
Oh,
part
he really
in your
played a
career.
huge part, but he doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't think he knows he did that. But to also give myself credit, I went there with a vision.
Okay.
Oh, I went there with a vision, and most of the thing, like he could not understand most of the things I was trying to do. It's like every day I would bring a new song, but now Ken, how about the other one? Yeah, it's also there. Now you have, yeah. So then I'm like, now Joe,
Yeah.
the first song we did, we tried to move was Noboka. The first song I played in Ndingidi. So then Joe was like, Ken, in this market, let us push a singer. I'm like, Joe, I need an album. If I don't have an album, they'll keep on comparing me to Maurice Kyria. If I don't get an album, that's what they will do. I need an album. But I don't think, because he was also trying to make sense out of it, because his setting was band. My mind was a solo artist. There's a contrast.
Yes.
There was a contrast. It's like, oh, okay. So I was like, now Joe, if we try this and this and this and this, what I thought was, I think he thought this in a band kind of way.
Okay.
And me, I am thinking in a solo kind of way, because all the time I would get a chance to sing. I would sing with just my guitar. Kenneth Moore and guitar. And I even used to borrow that guitar. Kenneth Moore and guitar. Wherever I would go.
Yeah.
So I mastered the art of performing alone.
Solo.
And I mastered the art of competing with a full band when I'm a solo.
Wow.
Oh yeah, so Joe played at that huge, because yampaka karuma ko kat Ken do this Ken time network anga those kwela guys, they be like, gwe tatawaliwa
Bambi.
gwe tatawaliwa. They call him my father, tatawaliwa.
Are you still in touch with him?
Yeah, I'm still in touch with him.
Okay.
And recently I was in Kabale, and I just saw I was rushing to a radio station.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, man, time.
Yeah.
So I had to just pass.
Yeah.
But I'm going back on June.
Okay.
I'll have a show there in June, Kabale.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, we need to teach people. Many of them, they haven't experienced that band-like feel. That they don't know it. They hear of it. They see on YouTube, but I got most of my fans in performing live.
Absolutely.
Most of them,
Yes.
when they see me perform live, what's your music?
It's magical.
So they can relate. They relate with my music after.
And then they go listen.
Yes. So in their mind, they have that image of me performing live.
Yeah.
So-
Because you've mastered it.
Yeah.
You're really good at it.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, shout out to you, Joe.
Choka here,
Herbert Sensamba.
Herbert Sensamba has been there, man. Guy hustler.
Kwano gonyo.
We are friends.
Yeah.
We are friends. However, we've lost touch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've taken long without seeing him actually. But this is the guy who revolutionized, I would say, solo performances. When he used to do his gigs solo, I would look at him. I'm like, how do you do it? But back in the day when we were trying to start out, the likes of the Happy K's, they used to push me. Happy K used to push me so much. Whenever I would think myself low,
Yeah.
he'd be like, good guy. I'm
We all need friends
like,
like that.
yes.
You know?
Yeah. There's a way he exaggerates something, and you're like,
Are you sure I can do that?
hey, now tables turned, and I am now the one like happy. Or day. Remember when you used to tell me this?
Yes.
I say, like, hey, and I am glad I have him
Yeah.
as a friend, because we pushes me,
each
pushes
other.
me. So Sensamba is one of those guys. I was like, Sensamba, because when I got to know him when he used to sing, he had this song Kagari. Then he had those songs Kalabiramuko. He has the song Samantha, would you be the one for me? He has a song I'm forgetting those songs. Some others. But
Where is he now?
he's around. He's releasing songs.
Okay.
Like mine. He's releasing songs now because back he was so much invested in doing covers, but he would do a cover and
make them his own.
Damn, like who's this guy? Wow. They even there's a certain loop mix.
Yeah.
That he did, recorded, and now most of the guys play it. Most of the people in weddings play it. Most of the
that's
DJ
that's a talent, by the way.
DJ Kasatoka therefore ngai yetaga abantu akatekamu ngatekamu kasensamba wali.
I'll definitely look him up.
Yeah.
And finally, Maurice Kiria.
Maurice Kiria was significant. He showed me without actually pointing. He showed me that it's okay to be different.
Yeah.
It's okay to be different in this industry where people try to be like other people.
And what better person to do that than him?
Yeah. It's almost like every album is like trying to confuse us. I'm like, Maurice, can't you go back to Misubawa album like that? Relax. Now and then I'm like, okay. By the time we get to understand this, retirement.
Yeah.
And he was also my judge in Rated Next. When I sang that song Chibunomu, Masogotulo, and there's another song. Gweweka, Mwagalwatasa. I also sang that song in Rated Next in auditions. Some other song I'm forgetting. So when I sang those songs, like we're on A or B any other business. He's like, how old are you? By then I was 20. I'm like 20. What was I doing at 20? What was I doing at 20? And you write those songs. I'm like, yeah. Like really? Yeah. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying to
figuring things out.
No, I was trying to hide in songs.
Oh
yeah.
Wow.
When I was starting out to write, I wanted to write about something. But then when I first write, it's like a song, hey, mwagala nyo, hey, every time I take it up, I put it up, I didn't feel it. I didn't. It was. So then I'm like, I need to write something that I can feel. I was like, you know what? Let me write about myself. I started writing about those crushes I had. I would look at a girl, I'm kaya kana man. Talk wandika. When I'm giving a compliment, I am really genuine. I try to be as genuine as I can. I have to first see.
Yeah.
I cannot give you a compliment now. But after some time, like, you still remember, you did this and this and this and this. And this. Then I nkujira ku ntono why I'm actually saying that. Because one of my few superpowers is observation.
Good.
Yeah, so you cannot write unless you're observant.
Okay.
So
that's Maurice Kiria.
Yeah, that's Maurice Kiria. He showed me totally different ways, and that's when I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
We tried to write it next. Beno Mugumbya was one of the
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he was like, what do you want to do with music? What do you want to do with I want to fuse this music with our traditional sound. But in my head then, I had traditional instruments. Little did I know that even like was actually sound. I didn't know. I thought, and guess what? Most of my music has when you listen carefully, that do comes out when I actually sing the words. So my words are percussive. I like melody again. Being mellow. Nemba nyemba mpola. Oliwa gwe bantondera.
You're gonna make me go back and now listen to your music
It's particular.
with that in mind, because I need to now listen to it.
Listen to it. Reggae. There's that element of iwe bateri yemwe muli mutabena ivuga like that tamena ivuga like mumate kali yemwe ja kusanga murakaraka cha. I don't try to do them, but when I'm actually doing it, it comes out.
Because
I'm like, wow, okay.
Because it's in you.
Yeah, so he really showed me you can be expressive. Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be too mainstream, you know.
Because
it
initially it was like, I have a person who records very well, and he meant Sambi Sasso.
Oh.
Blacksmith. But then he said blacksmith. I'm like, blacksmith. The name.
Yeah.
Blacksmith. He can what I wanted from him actually when Written Next, because I tried to but in his mind was like, okay, he actually told me I can get you. I'm going to take you to studio, because I was me and Joash. They just one name Written Next. But Joash he disturbed him more than I did. Yatuga meeting wamo, but nze nasokao nengenda Joash najja. Cafe Java sijawali ku Oasis.
Okay.
That's when we met him. Then I'm going to take you to studio. Some business can help you know all that. In my head, I'm like, no, I don't want studio. I want to see you perform. I want to just be at your performances, just watch you do your magic.
Yeah.
That's all I want. Yeah. Like, that's it. In my mind, recording.
That's all the mentorship I need.
That's all I needed.
Yeah.
The recording, I knew it would. I don't know. I had so much confidence that I cannot even understand up to date. Even when I was eliminated, I said, I need to come back. I have some stuff. I actually have stuff. I told the people, I have stuff. You have stuff. No. So I knew once I fall, so Written Next put me here. After Written Next, I actually fell into a ditch and I had to climb up. So na nesiba Nyoko Vision Group Aban. Now whenever they will call an artist that Friday mornings, celebrity guest.
Yeah.
Whenever they will call one, na ata jena canceling last minute. They will call Mugabi on Thursday night. Mugabi wenga enzo kera. I make sure ntuka wali. Yeah, I was hungry. Yeah. I make sure I was there. Nije nikagita kange zinanga ntuyanye.
Bambi.
Nzikakana bulungi. Good zili cyari ku YouTube. Nzikakana bulungi, kasanzikakana bulungi. We begin. How so? Did you bring the guitar? Yes, I bring the guitar. Whenever they'll call me for bring the guitar, bring the guitar, bring the guitar. So but why bring the guitar? Hey, this is where my strength is. So again, through that hustle, Brian Molondo gave me my first interview at it was Valentine on NTV. He gave me that first interview. Yanga Mugabe Jangu, he was still hosting that morning show, Yeah, morning at NTV, I think. Valentine's Day, I remember even my father was watching that day.
Yeah.
And then he went back. I'm like, yes. As long as Muzei andaba, I'll be serious. Yes. Because I went against what he thought I would actually.
What he wanted you to do.
Namuganza njagala ndongo. Ndongo. Ni mama yali akola ndongo sejenjagala. So it's when it comes to Morris, he changed the way.
He really opened up your mind.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, my dear Kenneth,
yes,
we've come to the end of our conversation. It's been so impactful on me. It's just exactly what I expected. You're very, very deep. you know,
Yes.
your music, how you understand it, how you visualize it, how you create it, how you see life in general. It's been very inspiring for me. I've learned so many things from you today.
I appreciate it.
You mentioned that your music is like therapy, or musao. May you continue to be our musao.
As long as God gives me life.
I'm telling you, and I'm going to continue looking for the live gigs that you have, because, like I said, I'm one of the big fans that love your live
appreciate it.
performances.
I appreciate
It's something I can't explain. When you start performing, I just start smiling. I'm smiling and So I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much for making the time to come by.
You're welcome.
Hope to see you again soon.
Yeah.
Anytime, anywhere.
You should give people something.
We really should. We talked about it.
Yeah.
Kuserena Wali
Yes.
backstage, and me, I'm still on it.
Yeah,
When the right time comes.
I am building something. I have 2 producers that I think they can execute.
Lovely.
Yeah, so I'm still zeroing down to 1.
Okay.
Yeah, so when unalabanga kusinikide, man.
Please.
But I know she always finds a way. The mystery of a woman, a savior in a time of need. The bravery of a woman, in your time of need. She does the deed, the magic of a woman.